As Mavericks fans have to wait the long, grueling days leading up to Sunday's matchup against the Los Angeles Clippers, a few teams are finding success in the play-in tournament as they fight for that 7th and 8th seed, while others are failing miserably. And one team that we're going to talk about is the Golden State Warriors, specifically Klay Thompson, who had an abysmal performance against the Sacramento Kings in an elimination game. But as he heads into free agency without a contract, without an extension, going in as an unrestricted free agent, the Dallas Mavericks are apparently linked to Klay Thompson as a possible destination. So we're going to break that down and see if that's a player we actually want to go for, or maybe a player that we want to avoid. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And like I said in the intro, man, we're going to talk about Klay Thompson, the Golden State Warriors, as they were matching up against the Sacramento Kings in the elimination game for the play-in tournament. The Sacramento Kings were the 9th seed, and the Golden State Warriors were the 10th seed, and unfortunately, the Golden State Warriors did lose, and it was just a horrible performance from Klay Thompson. I'll go ahead and throw up the box score up. We'll go over just the starters. Draymond Green gave it 12 points, 2 steals, 6 assists, and 3 rebounds, while shooting 2 of 4 from 3. Jackson, their big man, had 2 points and 1 rebound. Horrible for the big man. Andrew Wiggins had 12 points. He had 1 block, 2 assists, and 3 rebounds. Steph Curry had 22 points, 6 turnovers, but he had 1 block, 2 steals, 2 assists, and 4 rebounds while shooting 3 of 7 from 3. And Klay Thompson, 32 minutes of action, 0 points, 0 steals, 1 assist, 4 rebounds, shot 0 of 6 from 3 and 0 of 10 from the field, and it was just a horrible performance. I think this was the first time that he went scoreless since his rookie year, and as we all know, I want to say it was like 2018 in the finals against the Toronto Raptors. Klay Thompson did go down with an Achilles injury, and while he was rehabbing the following year, he also had a knee injury, which kept him out of the game for about 2 full seasons. And when he came back, I want to say that first year back, he did average about 21 points. He didn't look like the prime Klay Thompson, but he didn't look like he really missed a step. But as the years have gone on, this is about his 3rd season since his injury, since coming back from his injury, and he really is starting to show signs of just regression in his game. Still not the prime Klay Thompson, but from his stats, he does look like he could be a pretty good role player for a contending team. But after the loss to the Sacramento Kings, the report came out that the Dallas Mavericks are a possible suitor for Klay Thompson, per Sam Amick. And that's what we're going to talk about, because a lot of people feel like he's not that much of an upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr., who essentially does the same thing. Not at the same level of Klay Thompson, but if you want to just get a better shooter, there are better shooters out there. But for a 35-year-old Klay Thompson, who is about 2 to 3 years older than Tim Hardaway Jr., who has shown signs of regression, you can see why most people don't want Klay Thompson on the team. And we'll just throw his stats up right here. For this season, he played 77 games, had 17.9 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.3 assists, while shooting 43.2% from the floor, 38.7% from 3, and 92.7% from the free throw line. If I showed you this stat line without showing you who it was, you would think, oh, okay, 17, 3, and 2. Pretty efficient from the floor. He's probably a good role player, 6-man, or if he is a starter, he's probably a 3rd, maybe a 4th, no, most likely a 3rd scoring option on a contending team. But for someone like Klay Thompson, who is a NBA champion, who is a player of a high caliber, one of the best shooters to ever play the game of basketball, playing alongside Steph Curry, you would want more from the man who's about 34 years old currently. But those percentages aren't that bad. 43% from the floor, not the best, but it's not that bad. It's only about 2% lower than his career average. 38% from 3, it's still very good. Again, only about 3% lower from his career average. But he is shooting about 7% better from the free throw line, which is a good thing. So is Klay Thompson really a player that the Dallas Mavericks should go after in free agency? He is coming off of a 5-year, $190 million, $180 million contract. So he was making roughly $36 million a year, and we may only have enough to pay him half of that. I know Tim Hardaway Jr. is on a contract making anywhere between $16 and $18 million a year, which we still have Tim Hardaway for at least, I think, until next year, and then he'll be a free agent. So in reality, we don't have the money to just sign Klay Thompson outright. If that's what we wanted to do, it would have to be a sign and trade deal where we send him Tim Hardaway. We'll probably have to add either Josh Green or Jaden Hardy in a pick, and hopefully Golden State Warriors can do a solid by Klay Thompson and send him to us if that's where Klay Thompson would want to go. I don't think the Golden State Warriors are an organization that wouldn't do right by somebody who helped bring them championships. But a lot of people are against it. I did have a poll on the channel. I'll throw it right here. I'm clicking all over the place. But I did have a poll where I asked everybody, if it were possible, would you want to see the Mavs get Klay Thompson? About 28% said yes, and I was part of the 72% that said no. Over 1,000 people voted, but 72% say no, and I understand why. Is he an upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr.? Or better yet, the way I look at it is, would he fit better than Tim Hardaway Jr. on the Golden State Warriors, even after these injuries, even at this age? Klay Thompson is still seen as their second or sometimes third scoring option. Depends if Andrew Wiggins is playing and if he's playing well. But they still rely on Klay Thompson as their spot-up shooter, and everyone knows he is a good 3-and-D player. I looked at his defensive win shares, and they've only gone down a little bit since he came back from injury, which you could blame it on the injury. You could also say it just comes with age. But he's still defending pretty well. He still shoots pretty efficiently. But obviously going 0 of 10 in an elimination game against the Kings does not really shout, hey guys, sign me to help you win a championship. However, like I said, you can make the argument for both. And the argument for Klay Thompson is that he is in ways an upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr. And as we see right here, I got the two compared, and these are their stats for this season. And obviously, down the board, Klay Thompson is better than Tim Hardaway if you look at just the highlighted boxes. But if you break them down, he's only averaging about 3 points more than Tim Hardaway. The rebounds are literally the same. The assists, maybe half assists more. The steals are pretty much the same. Blocking, okay, half a block more maybe. He's shooting 3% better from the floor, 3% better from three, and about 7% better from the free throw line. His efficient field goal, his BPM and VORP, right there, they're higher than Tim Hardaway. So, in ways, is he an upgrade from Tim Hardaway? A lot of people may look at that like you're only getting a little bit more out of Klay, and he may want more money, so no, we don't want to go for it. While other people may say, hey, I mean, maybe in a smaller role on this team where he doesn't have the pressure of being, that guy that we're going to every night. Obviously, Luka and Kyrie, the driving force of our offense. But maybe if Klay Thompson were to buy in on a smaller role, we saw in Golden State where he really didn't like coming off the bench. He kind of got used to being a starter, being a cornerstone player for the Warriors team. But, however, if he could buy in on what we're trying to do, if we could get him to come off that bench as our sixth man, someone who will always be open, because the Mavericks know how to get guys open for wide open threes. All Klay Thompson would have to do is knock down 3 to 4 threes minimum per game, which I think he could do on this Dallas Mavericks team. Like I said, you're not the main focal point on offense. Luka's going to draw the double. Kyrie's going to probably attack the paint, kick it out to you in the corner. Easy buckets. The argument can be made for both. However, I do see why a lot of people aren't that high on Klay Thompson. Like I said, he's 34, 3 years removed from a crazy injury that kept him out of the league for 2 years rehabbing. But he does come with championship pedigree, just like Kyrie Irving, who's also won a championship. That type of pedigree, that type of mentality, that type of drive to win can bleed into the locker room. A lot of these guys are going to be their first time in the playoffs. For Daniel Gafford, for PJ Washington, I know a couple other young guys as well. But for those two, including Derrick Lively, this is their first time going to the playoffs. So for the Dallas Mavericks, Luka and Kyrie's leadership and experience is definitely going to be big on the younger guys. And maybe if we had Klay Thompson, that could also add into it. And again, the money has to make sense. Like I said, he's coming off of a 5-year, $190 million contract, about $38 million a year if the math checks out. But he would have to take a significant pay cut. And if Klay Thompson doesn't think it's worth his time to take a pay cut and come to Dallas, then there's nothing really to talk about. He's going to probably chase the money somewhere else. I heard Detroit got some money for you. Or maybe you want to go to Washington with Jordan Poole, your old teammate, and just absorb cap space there. But if Klay Thompson does, and if he is serious about wanting to win another championship, the Dallas Mavericks wouldn't be a bad spot. If we could somehow pull that off, I think that we could win. And I think that's the real bright side that we need to think about. You may not want Klay Thompson, but will he do more damage than good for us? I think that's the question that we have to ask ourselves and even though I don't really want to go after Klay Thompson, I also am not upset if somehow he found his way onto the roster. I'm sure Nico Harrison can work his magic out like he always does. However, like I said, you can make the argument for it, make the argument against it. But how about you guys let me know in the comment section down below? I know I made a post about it, but let me know if you think that there are some benefits of having Klay Thompson on this team, or if you feel like how the team is currently constructed, we stay pat, we only re-sign players like Derrick Jones Jr., who will be an unrestricted free agent, and maybe if there's a better player out there, we could move some players around, shuffle some players around, make some trades, and try to get a better shooter than an aging Klay Thompson. But I appreciate you guys making this far to the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a free jersey giveaway. All you got to do is be a channel member, and you're automatically entered in the giveaway. But until next time, y'all take care. Peace.